So recently, a company called 1X released a consumer grade robot named, and subsequently, like the robot, there are other robots as well. You have the robot from Tesla. So there's a huge push of a lot of companies competing against each other for the space of consumer grade robots for basically helping you do domestic chores. And like every robot, one of the major problems that consumer grade robots especially have is the look and the feel of the robot. With industrial grade robots, these robots usually have a jagged outlook. They are built for functionality over appearance and ambience, so it makes sense for them to look a certain way and have a bit of a jagged appearance. But for a consumer grade robot, having a calming appearance is of utmost importance. I've basically split up this video into two parts. The first part, I'm going to be talking about the robot, and later on I'm going to be talking about the robot, and towards the end I'm also going to be talking about all the technicalities and the much niche technical stuff. Coming to the one, the model that they have released as of right now is going to be retailing for 20,000 US dollars, and it's going to be available in early 2026. It's up for pre-booking right now. A lot of hedging of the company is in the fact that right now a lot of activities like picking up a glass, closing doors is primarily done by a teleprompter. So you have another person with a VR headset. And their argument for this is right now, the major requirement for their product to succeed is the real life test data. A lot of tasks as of right now from the Neo robots side is done using the teleprompter, and even in the future they have an advanced option. If your task that you're going to assign for the robot is going to be slightly advanced or slightly complicated, there is an option for you as a consumer to basically, another person is going to take over your robot and going to help you do your stuff whenever there is like an advanced task at hand or like a relatively tough task at hand. On one hand, this does sound scary. There is like a severe breach of privacy in this aspect. But if you think about it, the way the company frames it is this sort of intrusion or this sort of mutual coexistence is what is required for their company to succeed. So one of their key arguments is you can assign no-go zones or private zones within your own home, and once you have these private no-go zones, the teleprompter will not go to those particular zones in your house, and they're going to stick to the zones that they are assigned to. And the company's argument is they need this sort of mutual symbiotic relationship between them and their consumers for their product to work. Obviously, with robots like these, it's only going to get better with time. I mean, if you go 10 years ago and thought about having a consumer grade robot, there were scant options, almost no options at all, in fact. But 10 years now, we are not linearly preparing for physics. There is machine learning. You have a bunch of repositories which are open source sometimes, which these robots use. And it is pretty cool that technology is not linearly growing just in the AI front, but it is also growing in the technical consumer electronics front as well. Like having this Neo robot, one of the major drawbacks that the Neo robot had upon testing was it is relatively very slow as of right now. Obviously, with more test data in the future, it is going to increase in speed. But for now, it took like 5 minutes to load a dishwasher and like 2 minutes to get a bottle of water from the fridge, which was 10 feet away. People are obviously going to presume that it is now worth it as of right now, but early adopters, you obviously are going to be the talk of the town. If you are like one of those early people who gets a robot, do be very mindful of how you're going to be using these robots. As of right now, they are going to be doing very scant and basic operations like loading your dishwasher, basically helping you with laundry. Very basic work when it comes to like helping you fold your laundry. A lot of people will train the robot on their respective test data, and like basically all of them are going to get accumulated in this one giant hive mind of machine learning. That has been about the robot, it looks pretty cool. Once the robot was down in battery, it charged itself. Obviously, when you get the robot and use it extensively, that's when you're going to know the qualms of the robot. That's when you get to know the highs and lows. But as of right now, the concept of the primary concern for any robotics company for consumer grade robotics is training and testing data. And one of the easiest ways to get training and testing data is to have live feed of actual actions play out in real time to basically train the hive mind of the robotic system that I mentioned. Also, one of the key points of failures for consumer grade robots or any robots in general is latency. Like, latency is the death of robotics. Latency is basically like the last straw when it comes to how good your robot is. So obviously you have newer robots with stereo cameras which offer very less latency. Another major point of failure for any consumer grade robot is heating. A lot of companies' basic pinpoints right now is working up primary systems of levers, primary systems of axles, servos, motors, all these, where they have to keep it lightweight and they have to make sure that they're durable and also heat efficient. Like, you basically have to tick all the boxes in order for your product to have a successful frame. So basically, majority of the efforts in the next coming years is going to be towards building this black box of having a framework so that many other third party vendors and many other people in general can build systems on top of this black box. If you went a few years back and asked any robotics expert what their primary concern of robots were, they probably would have told you it's balancing or getting the robots to basically stand constantly on any even or even uneven surfaces.